Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of the Direwolf20 1.21 Modpack. Today is episode 12, and right away, I want to mention thank you for all the comments and feedback on the last few episodes that we've been doing. I've honestly just been kind of overwhelmed by all the people, suggesting things and giving comments and giving feedback. It's awesome. Keep it up. I genuinely love it. I know I can't respond to every single person. I do give a like or a heart, as there is that option now. I don't know if that's special. I don't even know. Anyway, I did read that the occultism rituals can be overlapped. I'm not 100% sure how that functions, I will say. I don't know what rituals can be combined together or not. So I definitely would love some more feedback on that. Maybe I'll try and find some information on that, but I don't 100% know because I don't mess with occultism rituals. Another thing, somebody was said there is a mod out there that would actually allow for you to put the crusher into a containment jar, and that containment jar can then be piped out of. That is Ars Ocultas. This is not in the Direwolf 20 pack by default. This was something added by me, and the reason it's probably not in the Direwolf 20 pack, and I don't have 100% confirmation, is because this mod is only for 1.21. Remember, we are on 1.21.1, so there may be some instabilities with this being the previous version. I've installed it, I've backed up the world beforehand, and I don't see any incompatibilities as of current. But if you want to install this mod, I will leave a link down in the description to the mod page for the 1.21 release, the latest version, and hopefully that will be good. Hopefully it'll work. I have seen one issue so far, and that is the silver to gold recipe that is added by it. This shows up here, but in the worn notebook, which I don't actually have, it is just blank. The recipe for that, so not 100% sure, and I think there's two different blank recipes, so just keep that in mind. It's not 100% compatible unless that was broken in the previous version in 1.21. I did not check, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so we are looking at getting a couple more things with our storage system. That is the occultism storage actuator and the storage stabilizer. I want to get wireless crafting, or wireless grid, and we're gonna do that. So I've got the ingredients for the occult ritual. Nope, hold on. Stable wormhole. That's what it is. It's at the very bottom. I'm still trying to get used to the bookmark thing for JEI. So we just need this, and the foliate bound book. And then the next one is actually for this. So let's just get that bookmark. So this is the Striger? Yes, Striger. So not this one. Is it this one? Oop, did I mess this up? No valid pinnacle found? This one was... Okay, I don't know. I don't even know if that's the one we need. I think I may have goofed and messed that one up earlier. Yeah, right there. Let me just fix this real quick, because it's going to bug me now. There we go. Okay. So this one here, we're going to get the inert storage accessor to not be inert anymore. So 2 ender pearls, some quartz, and the book of Jinn. And that'll start crafting that. So what I understand for this is you basically right-click the storage actuator, and this will actually attach to it. Yeah, so shift-click a dimensional storage actuator to link it, then place the wormhole in the world to use it as a remote access point. So that'll be pretty cool. I don't know the range or anything. I think somebody did say in the comments that this does do dimensional. I mean, that would be pretty cool if it does. Not 100% sure. We're going to look into it. We're going to do a lot of looking into, because I've never actually used the storage system from occultism. But that is definitely something I want to do. Another thing, I did bring this up last episode, that I do want to do the possessed ghost or the possessed creatures, possessed mobs, whatever, into Ars containments. So I've started actually getting these guys into soul gems, so that way we can actually do that and harvest from them, because they have a higher chance of getting us items as well, from what I understand. and that would be pretty cool. So I'm probably going to gather those just slowly over time until we actually get into Ars, which I think we might do the start of it this episode, because we're kind of to the point of the familiars and occultism, and I don't know if I want to jump into that immediately. I might just want to take a little bit of a break, get into Ars, start getting some resources so we don't run into any issues with not having enough of X, Y, and Z inside of actually creating the familiars and all that stuff. So I think that's what we'll do. Okay, so this is done. And then now we're just waiting on this one. But yeah, I also did get the tier 2s, like I said I was going to between episodes. I do want to look at the tier 3s, but I know this is a completely different ritual that I don't think we actually have. And I will be moving these. Somebody suggested a wizard's tower. I was actually thinking of that. Since we have the copy and paste gadget from Direwolf's building gadget mod, we could actually do that a lot easier. We could make the whole roof and then set the roof on top with the copy and paste gadget, so I don't have to like build it on top of something. Let's go downstairs here, because I did make a basement, so we could actually place this without being in the way. We're going to place this 2 blocks out. And actually, why don't we just use the wall as one of the anchor spots? So we could just do this, kind of just make it a smaller area. I don't want other stone. Give me the pocket storage here. Okay. So that should be pretty decent, hopefully. I don't think it tells you really any information on how much is actually storable in here, which is kind of the weird thing. I mean, it only tells you here, but how much of it actually, how many, types can you actually do? But we will figure that out. So with the wormhole, so we just need to shift click. Okay, so how do I place this? Could I just do, let me just build up here. Could I just place it like right here? Oh, and I can make these things float. Ooh, I like that. That's awesome. Okay. And then, okay, so now I've linked this. So can I just toss items in here? I can. Okay. I think the only problem that I can think of is really how do you make this... I don't know if there's a way to make it... what am I trying to think of? Like access to a specific inventory? So I'm pretty sure we just have this. Let's see. Just kind of glancing at this, by the way. I'm not really... So it says you can actually break it and pick up pick up this, and then you can move everything because it's stored inside of it. So that's actually pretty interesting. Okay. So I'm just going to try and send some stuff in here. So we've got a whole bunch of different kinds of blocks in this chest. So if I just start throwing... And I would assume over time you'd want to upgrade your tiers. So I think we might look at that before getting into Ars, is looking at fighting a nether... Fighting a mob, maybe. Fighting a wither. Man, I cannot... I was trying to think of the name and I completely spaced on that for a second. Fighting a wither may not be a bad option. We just have to get wither skeleton skulls. So probably wanting to get into Ars in the first place, because I want to get containment jars. So let's actually just work on that. Let me get some stuff thrown in here. Kind of just see what we can see with this. I know we'll get into AE2 sooner rather than later. This was kind of just something I want to look into and use it temporarily. Especially because I don't ever get into magic mods in the very beginning a lot of these times. And if I do, I kind of just drop it for tech immediately after. So this time I'm trying to kind of balance that, or just kind of jump into magic more than anything. So let me get stuff pushed over. Let me get into that. Also, I did know note to myself whenever I actually looked at the episode where I made this mechanical squeezer for ores. You technically don't need to do that. You could have gotten a fortune pickaxe and probably got an equivalent draw from that compared to this. This is actually really good to have for ores, dyes, blaze rods, basically anything and everything. And I wanted to make that editor's note in a sense because I made it. I was like, man, this is a really weird idea. Why did I choose to do this method when I could have done just fortuning the ores? And I was like, wait. I realized after the fact that I've been using it for dyes quite a lot. And so having that and needing all the dyes for occultism, that was definitely a benefit that I never spoke about. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you make a mechanical squeezer. I recommend it very early on. Getting a thermo generator, of course, is a really good option as well because you don't have to worry about powering it. Definitely some good stuff. So, okay, so I've thrown basically everything that I found valuable into the storage Actuator. We do have some stuff still out. Actually, I do want to take this gold dust. I did forget that was up here. Okay. Also, there is a keybind for the actual Actuator. By default, it is in, but I did go ahead and I changed it to F20. If you don't know, F20 is on my mouse, so I don't have to reach over and press a key. So I have backpack on this key, which is my asterisk, which is also on my mouse, and then I have this one, which is now the storage thingy, storage accessor. There we go. So what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to work on getting these rituals done, get these two inside of a soul gem, and then from there, we are going to then step into Ars. The only problem I have is figuring out how I want to grow get source in general. Usually I do a volcanic one. The issue right now is we don't really have a good way to do a tree farm. We could look at Steve's carts. I personally don't want to look at Steve's carts right now because it is just kind of not my forte, especially because we looked at it in Neotech and I don't think it has been improved since that point, and I really don't know if I want to get into that. So there is industrial foregoing to potentially do a tree farm. We could do that, but I think what we'll do is we'll probably do ergonomic source links and just to get the wheat farm kind of esque one going, or source berries or something. I think source berries produce more just by default, so that might not be a bad option. So there's some things we need to look into, but actually I may need to spawn 2 of these guys because I do need, unless I have a skull in here. Yeah, okay. Because I need one for the wither skeleton to actually be able to spawn. So let me get these done, get these guys into a soul gem, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I've got the wither skeleton that should drop the skull. I've also got the possessed skeleton, possessed ghast. That's the only 3 that I've done, and the only 3 that I plan on doing right now. Of course, there's like the possessed shulker. There's a handful more that we will look at in the future, but right now, I'm not too worried about them. The next portion that I want to do is actually not get into Ars. We're actually going to skip to JustDireThings real quick, because if we get a higher tier soil, we'll actually have a more resulting source, right? Source of source. So if we actually get into that tier, we should be golden. Also, I wanted to quickly grab energy pipes because I forgot about this. I think this works. If you grab a charging station and you put a power source on it, doesn't it fill it? Does it not do that anymore? Oh, wait. Hold on. This is actually not having output. Okay. Does that fill it? Okay, so this does fill it. So what I can actually do now, instead of using this pocket generator, which I'm going to turn off because it's burning coal, basically, I am actually going to currently just use this to charge any of our gadgets or anything of that sort. So just toss this in there. Boom. Done. I don't know. Can you actually charge this using a charging station? That would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? You cannot, though. Okay. But yeah, JustDireThings. So we went to the end recently, and that has allowed for us to get the next tier of Void Shimmer Goo. Of course, there is the shadow one, which we can do down the line once we get a Silk Touch, a Skulk Shrieker, and get Echo Shards and all of that fun stuff. But of course, Echo Shards are not on our radar. This is definitely something that I want to get. The Possessed Warden will always drop at least 6 Echo Shards and can drop another's ancient stuff, smithing templates and discs when killed. That sounds absolutely beautiful if we were able to get him. So I think we'd go for this first before actually going for this. What in the world? You can like infuse them to get more? Interesting. Not 100% sure, but we will look at that later down the line. But we do have... Is it in here? Or is it in here? It is in here. Okay. So let's go grab... Oh, no, I've already got it in my thing, right? It's right here. Perfect. So let's pick this up. And we're just going to go put this in the corner over here. So what does this need to be fed with? Chorus Fruit or Ender Pearls? I'm not really too concerned about using Ender Pearls on this, actually, because we do have the end. So if we do need to go hunt for some, that's not a problem. Okay, so this can be used for Celesta Gems. Celesta Gems, and of course another tier of fuel, which is not bad. Budding Time Crystal Blocks. Okay, so we're starting to get into that. That is something we will look at probably down the line. I'm not 100% sure if I want to look at that right now. Clips Ember. Okay, so that's Shadow Pulse. Can I get a specific? Okay, so you can't do that. So I may be looking at the wrong one. So Void Shimmer stops here, it looks like. So Primal Coal, Portal Fluid, Void Flame Fuel, Raw Blaze Ember, Blaze Gold, Celesta Gems. Okay, so that is much later down the line. We don't have access to the Shadow Pulse. Okay. That is fine by me. Why is it so? I'm very confused. Anyway, we are good. We're golden. Let's just get this going. So what we need is some diamond blocks. We don't have a whole lot of diamonds, so we're gonna probably do this a little sparingly, but that's fine. We can just shoot for 6. That sounds good. Okay. And this is actually the first time I've ever gotten to this tier in the JustDireThings, because I still haven't got to this tier in FTB Neotech. So definitely some good stuff here. So let's go Precision mode on 1x1, Fortune just in case. I don't think these are affected by Fortune, but I've never been to this tier, so we'll see. Alrighty, they have just transformed, so we're going to pick them up. Okay, so we just get 4. Okay, so it's just like every other tier. There's nothing else we get from them. Perfect, good to know. Okay, so with these, what can we do with these? So we can get up to the Celesta Shovel, and so the Celesta Gem Tools, which is exactly what we want to do. So we want to get into the Celesta Gem Hoe, because we want to get the higher tier Soil. What upgrades and stuff can be used? Drops Teleporter and Hammer. So the Drops Teleporter, is that... well, we'll look. I'm not 100% sure if I'm thinking of this correctly, but we'll see. Because I know that one of these tiers is supposed to teleport to a inventory, and I don't know if that is what that means or what. Oh, and I completely forgot which wing of the house we're on, so there we go. So this is ran off of energy. So I've got the little farm over here, but I do need a bucket of water. I don't need to run back to the house. I've got to get used to this again, by the way. I haven't used a wireless terminal in a mod in a hot minute, especially because FTB Neotech is broken, so you can't actually use it in that mod. So, let's get this going. So, if I get a chest with a stack upgrade, which I think I have a stack upgrade in here. So if I... So it doesn't look like I can teleport stuff. So do I need the Drops Teleporter? Let's just read this and see. Drops Teleporter. Bind tool to chest and drops will teleport you. Okay, so that I do need. Okay. I didn't know. Did not know. Oh, do we not have any obsidian? I was making sure I didn't drop it and leave it in this chest. Well, that is not good. Okay. Let me go hunt for some obsidian real quick then. Because I actually did not know I was out of that. Amethyst, I probably need... I really need to figure out how to get into this mod again. Than just get this. I don't think this really requires a whole lot. I mean, like, aluminum nuggets. We got a whole bunch of aluminum. We could look at that for in the future, but we have what we need in the way of amethyst. I just need to go get the obsidian. So let me go downstairs. Let me grab that bucket back out. Also, sometimes whenever I click on this search bar and do Control-A to erase, it doesn't work sometimes. I'm not 100% sure what's up with that. But we'll see. All right, got the drops teleport. So what we should now do is just throw this in here. And we are golden. Perfect. Okay. And this thing doesn't have anything on it, right? Just lava repair, which is default. So now we should be able to bind this to an inventory, and we won't have to worry about harvesters or anything of that sort, and this should just run. So let's get that going here. I might have to take this out, though. This one block that we placed. Because I don't think it'll technically be bound to the chest. Okay. So dirt. So that is bound. Let me just... Can I clear it? Custom binding, not bound. Set binding. Okay, so no, that I just disabled it. So the dark is disabled. Okay. I didn't know that. So shift right click is what we need. Okay. Man, yeah, that's a little weird. I wish there was like some visual indicator or some like mark down here or something saying, hey, this is disabled, or a hover effect. I don't know. That's just, it seems off to me. But maybe I'm just overthinking it. I think just a little bit. Okay. So we have it bound. Let's make sure. Let me make sure it's enabled. So shift right click. And then... Okay, hold on. I think I just goofed on all of these. Because I was holding that shift right click. Okay, so I can't break that with that. Just gotta break it with my hand. Apologies for, like, seeming like a complete Nimrod right now. I definitely am not used to the way this works. But hopefully, we'll get there in the end. Okay, so, shift right click. That is bound. Now just right click. So all of these should be bound to the gold chest. Hopefully. So now what we want to do is get some seeds. Probably just some wheat seeds. We do need a stack of 16. There we go. So that is all of the field. And this blue kind of hurts my eyes, though, I'm not going to lie. It's a little bright. Okay, so now this should basically be doing what that farm is doing with less components, right? So that is pretty nifty. Okay. Now, the next part of this is getting the worn notebook from Ars Nouveau, because that's kind of why we built this whole farm. I really couldn't care about the drops, in all honesty, but might as well just keep them. So I should have the book. Yes. So we are just going to basically immediately start into source generation, if I remember where that is. Ergonomic source link. So it is called the ergonomic source link. Just do source link. It's AGR, not ARG. Okay. And then we do need the source jars, which require archwood slabs, which require archwood, which I do have some. Okay. I know this is technically not how you're supposed to start Ars, but I already knew I had source gems from looting dungeons and stuff. So we're just going to set a source jar here, here, and here, with the source link here. Actually, let's just set the source link half and half. So let's go here, and then here, and that should start. I hope. I hope this soil even works with Ars. It looks like it does. Okay, perfect. So that is starting to get us some source. This is going to be a process. But I'm curious how much this actually works. Because I see crops are growing, but I don't see any particle effects actually showing. So I'm wondering if that is because the bone meal effect is being applied, maybe? Maybe. Because I believe bone meal doesn't actually allow these to work. Yeah. Bone meal is one of those things that prevents it. Okay. But I do know that I actually want to put source berries here, actually. I forgot about these. Instead, let me actually just grow some here real quick. And we wanted these because they actually give us more source when they are when they're actually produced. Can these actually grow and actually produce on this soil, though? Just kind of curious. Let me watch some of these grow, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it looks like the source berries can grow on the soil, but they cannot actually be harvested by the soil. I've been watching these for like 10-15 minutes and nothing. I also planted a sourceberry bush with the actual red fertilizer on it to see if that would be any faster than these. This thing grows very slow. I don't think there's a way to remedy this. We will just use wheat for now, and sooner or later we'll get I believe starbunkles can harvest these guys, and that would make it much quicker. But for now, we're just going to do this method just because it's going to be a bit quicker. It'll be a much earlier game version of what we actually need to do. So, why did we get into Ars? Well, the biggest thing is for the containment jars. The containment jars allow for you to store creatures in them and then use them alongside Drigme to make what is called a Drigme mob farm. Oh, I didn't know you could actually trade piglins and stuff inside of jars. I didn't know that. But yeah, you can actually do quite a few different things in here. And of course, these are going through some of the small ones. And we could make like a full milking factory little module if we wanted to make like a milk thing. You could have chickens that lay eggs. Of course, the Ars Occultism allows for us to put the Myriad Crusher and any other crushers inside of there to actually process ores and stuff. Let's see. So this one would be bowls to make mushroom stew if we wanted to. So if you wanted to, you could probably find a mushroom, which is uncommon. You could actually probably make a culinary generator setup using Ars Nouveau and this to actually get some of that process. That'd be interesting. Definitely, definitely. Baby pandas will occasionally sneeze, creating slime balls. Sick pandas will sneeze more often. Interesting. But yeah, so the Drigme charm is what we'd really need to get into. So we already have the Drigme token. We would just need to make the surrounding recipe to then allow for us to get a Drigme charm, which then you right-click I believe it is a moss cobblestone block. That turns it into a Drigme hill. And then the Drigme hills can have your containment jar surrounding it. And every so often, the more drachma you have, the faster they will actually then harvest from the actual jars and give you the resulting mob drops. It's pretty cool. But how do you get things inside of these? Well, you need to get what is called a tablet of containment. This is actually a ritual that needs the ritual brazier to actually work. And does it actually give us that? Let me see. So ritual brazier, which is this right here, which requires an arcane pedestal, source gem block, gold. So it looks like we will need to get into source gems here. So let's start just doing that. And then I think we'll wrap up this episode. So source gems. Source gems. Here we go. What is this? Source gem lamp. Interesting. So an imbuement chamber. And the imbuement chamber is not an expensive recipe, so that is good. Let me get rid of these other things here. So we could either do amethyst or lapis lazuli. Okay. Or we could do apothic enchants. Or we could get a cardboard box. Okay. Well, right now we'll just do lapis. So let's grab the imbuement chamber. Let's grab some pipes. We need item pipes here. There we go. And then another barrel. We don't need to do this near source, but I believe if we have it near source, it actually speeds it up a little bit. So we may as well just take advantage of that. So the pipe wrench. And we're going to grab a source gem. Come on. Okay, it's just visually not even connected. Perfect. That, and then this. So that is a whitelist of source gems. And now what we're going to do is just grab some lapis. We'll grab a couple stacks. We'll make sure this is active. And only one item goes in here at a time. But that will craft up, become a source gem, and then be ported out to here. So that is very early game source gem making. And I believe it's the only way you can make source gems. But once you get a better source of source, this will actually be better. Of course, we're going to completely run out of this. I feel like this farm does not work the way we're hoping. So we probably will look at this next episode. I'm probably going to pull the entire farmland out. And we'll have to reevaluate how we actually want to do this. Because if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I would love to have more source. And this farm should be producing more source. So, sad days. Oh well. I'll have to get a shovel, pull out the entire farm, and then I'll do red fertilizer. And then we can figure out a way to harvest the farm completely. Which is, I don't think, going to be a big issue. I think there is something from JustDireThings other than what we have currently that should allow for us to interact. So there's an advanced clicker, which I think is what I'm thinking about. Let me actually just make one before we wrap this up. So Eye of Ender, dispenser. That's a dropper. I don't have a bow in here, I guess. Okay, simple clicker. Advanced clicker. So I think this thing can do a range of stuff, right? And since we have right-clicking crops, this should work. Oh, this does need power. Okay, I can get a thermo generator between this episode and next. But yeah, this has a radius. So if I were to set the radius to 9 by 9. So this is 5 blocks out as center. And then 5 blocks out this way, 5 blocks out this way. This would work, I do believe. We would just replace that chest and then have a pipe or something that goes out of this into the chest. Okay. There are some plans. I was hoping this would make an Ars Nouveau, Ars Nueva, whatever you want to call it, farm much, much better. But of course, it doesn't actually seem to be, because we should have an overall net positive of actual stuff. And actually, if we wanted to, we could probably replace all of this with source berries and just use the simple clicker to right-click, which I think, yeah, this is already set to right-click by default. Is there anything? So just blocks, that'd be fine. and I wouldn't care about filtering. Okay. All right. Let me be back next episode where we will get this going. I'm going to make a thermo generator between this episode and next, of course, so that way we are able to just jump into it, get it going, get it done, and hopefully we'll have a better Ars start farm than we did this episode. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.